Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
So what stands Acapella out as a comedian?
I have my style. I like to discuss reality. Growing up in the business, I later found out that the easiest way to tell a joke is to tell a joke that everybody can relate with, right? And that's why I like to tell stories. I like to. Some people say I'm political. Some people say I'm controversial. Some people say, but I don't think I am. I just like to tell jokes that everybody can relate with. If I talk about Buhari's policy, everybody in Nigeria can see it. Everybody understands what I'm talking about. It's not fiction, right? If I talk about Lekki Tollgate, it's something that everybody can relate with. And so sometimes when you talk about the only thing I just do, I basically just bring out the humor from everything, from my environment, from the society, from the people I discuss with at large, and it's something that stands me out. I'm very, very, very intentional about comedy. I hate to go for a show and have a bad day. You don't want to see me throughout that day. If I go for a show and I have a bad day, you might think you might see me like a doctor that conducted an operation and then the child died. You know how the doctor feels. And for me, it's not about the money. Some people say, "But why they feel bad? They don't already pay you now." I'm like, but I did not leave a mark there. And so every time I want to go for a show, I'm very intentional. I want to leave a mark. It's not like a competition, but I want them to know that the money that they paid at Capella, he brought the value sharp. So for me, value is something I take very serious, and that is what has kept me going.
So what makes a good comedian?
For me, I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to be general, but for me, I think originality, coming out original, coming out fresh. I can remember in 2009 or 10, Alibaba held a seminar for young comedians at the time. And one of the things he said, I will never forget. I don't know if every other comedian still remembers when he taught us that the fresh guys last longer than the funny guys. It didn't make sense at the time, but eventually it began to make sense. So it was like, if an artist or, for instance, a comedian does a hit joke and the joke is big, it's 6 months, it's 1 year, he can't come up with a new joke. The guy that was average, who comes up with fresh jokes every time, starts becoming the better option. So people start making an excuse for him to say, "Man, you know why I like this guy? He's always fresh." You can't predict what he wants to say. You can't predict it. You don't know where he's coming from, right? Then the funny joke becomes stale. So I think what makes a good comedian is originality, observation, and then perfect delivery. Perfect delivery, originality. You may not know how to tell stories. We all don't know how to tell stories. I think one of the perfect storytellers we have in the industry today is the likes of Oke Bakassi, the Don. Oke Bakassi can tell you a story for 30 minutes. Me, Acapella, I can't tell you a story. I'm the very fast-paced guy, right? I come with the point from beginning to the end, right? So we all have our styles, but the beauty is that you are coming original. Because I think you can't come into an exaggerated market with an existing product, right? Something that I had built fan base with, a joke that I had built fan base with. You can't come and use the same joke and want to build the same fan base. Sometimes when you tell the jokes, the audience will laugh, but they know where it's coming from. So sometimes when you tell the joke, they laugh and they be like, this guy just remind me of I go die now, right? So I think what makes you a good comedian is the ability to tell your own stories, because it's sweeter when it's your experience.